Hi, welcome back. I'm Sister Sonia Wilson of the Greater Bethlehem Temple Apostolic Church, located at 4781 Hamilton Avenue, where our pastor is the Honorable Bishop James Chapman. I'm here today to present the lesson, Jesus' Response to a Dire Need. The lesson is found today in John chapter 11, verses 1 through 16. I think I'm going to read the whole lesson and we're going to talk a little bit about it, and there will be a part two. All right? Verse 1. Now a certain man was sick named Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore his sister sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick. Verse 4. When Jesus heard that, he said, This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of Man might be glorified thereby. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister, and Lazarus. Verse 6, when he had heard therefore that he was sick, he abode 2 days still in the same place where he was. Then after that saith he to his disciples, Let us go into Judea again. Verse 8, his disciples said unto him, Master, the Jews of late sought to stone thee, and goest thou thither again? Jesus answered, Are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. Verse 11, These things said he, and after that he saith unto them, Our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep. Verse 12, Then said his disciples, Lord, if he sleep, he shall do well. Howbeit Jesus spake of his death, but they thought he had spoken of taking a rest in sleep. Verse 14, Then said Jesus unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead. And I am glad for your sakes that I was not there, to the intent ye may believe. Nevertheless, let us go unto him. Last and final verse, verse 16, Then said Thomas, which is Didymus, unto his fellow disciples, Let us also go, that we may die with him. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading, hearing, and doing of his holy word. So what we are focusing on is Jesus' response, which takes place in verse 4. When Jesus heard that, he said, This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby. Now that is a response. Now let's set up a little bit about this lesson. Jesus is very familiar with Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. They are a family. They are brother and sisters. They are close. They have a close relationship with the Lord. So this is nothing new. He loves them. The sisters even plead on their brother's behalf. Isn't that something to have someone talk to the Lord on your behalf? That's what they did. He was not in a position to plead for himself, but his sisters pleaded for him to Jesus. They said, Send word that he whom thou lovest is sick. But Jesus' response is, this is not unto death. This is for the glory of God. Furthermore, Jesus stays where he is 2 more days. He doesn't respond immediately, but this is who he loves, remember? But instead, he responds, we're going to, it's not unto death, and we're going to be here a little while, so just be comfortable. He's telling his disciples, just wait. Nevertheless, after the 2 days, Jesus goes forth and he tells his disciples, Come, we must go to Judea again. But his disciples are talking about, wait a minute. Hey, they just tried to stone you, Lord. This is kind of dangerous. But Jesus makes it clear he's committed to the cause. He's teaching us about discipleship. Discipleship, you must be committed. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. You've got to become committed to this thing that you call yourself to do with the Lord. You made a commitment that I'll follow you, Lord. I'll do what you say do, so you have to do it. So now Jesus has gotten them there or they're on their way traveling there, and they're thinking that he's asleep because Jesus said that Lazarus sleep. Well, he says to them plainly he's dead. So you might even ask, well, why didn't Jesus just make this clear the first time? Remember, Jesus is forever teaching and training us. Because he makes a statement or he asks a question, that's not necessarily for you to answer. It's for you to get in his face and say, Lord, what is it that you're trying to teach me or show me? What am I lacking in knowledge? You told me to seek you. So this is what he's making them familiar with his ways. They have to learn the Lord. He does not have to learn our ways. We have to learn his ways. So these are good training moments for the disciples to understand. And he's going to show them a miracle too. He makes it clear it's good that he wasn't there. And lastly, Thomas, who is Didymus, he decides to say, let us die too. His intent may have been good. The intention was good, but it does not mean that it was the right thing to say or to do. He lacked the understanding that he so needed at that time. But look at the goodness of God. Look at Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. He has a whole bunch of different type of personalities around him and his disciples, but he's very patient, very long-suffering, very kind, very loving, very sweet, working with each personality. All right? So Jesus is showing us that his response may not be what you think it's going to be. So when you pray, when you seek God for a response to your prayer, for your deliverance, for your answer, don't expect it to be what you think it's going to be. Now, in part 2, we're going to bring out a few highlights about how this thing is all throughout the Bible. All right, part 2.